Okay, the second lesson in substitution for this 2020 end of year set of units. So same idea, except we're going to introduce some slightly more complicated expressions to plug things into, things with either squares or, as you'll see later, square roots or some of both and that kind of thing. So we'll just look at how to handle that. So we're going to take this 6 and plug it in everywhere we see an x. So instead of x squared, it's going to be 6 squared minus 3 times 6 plus 5. Now, 6 squared, it's just 6 times 6. And if you're not sure, you can always just do 6 and then hit the square button on your calculator, which is this one. Boom. So it's 36. So I have 36 minus 3 times 6 is 18 plus 5. Notice I don't try to do too much in my head. Just go left to right. And do the exponents first in multiplication, and then the last thing you'll do is just add these up left to right, add or subtract left to right. So 36 minus 18 is 18 plus 5. So this minus 18 is 18. Don't let these think that the 36 just disappeared. And then 18 plus 5 is going to be 23. And there you go. All right, let's try another one. And we're going to introduce a negative number, of course. So in terms of the squaring, the negative number is actually going to become a positive one. So when we plug in the negative 7 here, it becomes negative 7 squared minus 6 times negative 7 minus 15. So negative 7 times negative 7 is a positive 49. I believe on your calculator, if you type in, let's see, some calculators get a little weird. So if you do 7 and you make it negative, and you square it, yep, it's positive 49. Some calculators won't unless you put parentheses around it. Now here, you got a couple different ways you can look at it. You could keep this as a minus and just do 6 times negative 7, which is going to be a negative number. And then this negative and the negative there are going to make everything a plus. Or you could just look at it as negative 6 times negative 7. If I do that, so negative 6 times negative 7, it's positive, so plus 42. And then still have the minus 15 there. Like I said, the other option here, just in case, would be to go and leave this as a minus sign, multiply these two, which would be a negative 42, and then realize that a minusing a negative is just an addition. So you get to the same point. Let's see, that's 91, I believe. 49 plus 42, it's 80, 91. Minus 15, and I'll do that one just to make sure I get it right. Minus 15, 76. There we go. Okay. Square rooting. So in these, the last thing we're going to do is to hit this button on your calculator, the square root button. But first, we got to plug in the number in question. So this 20 is going to go in for x. So just keep the square root hut there. It's called the radical. 2 times 20 minus 4. Just simplify the inside. 2 times 20 is, what, 40? Minus 4 is 36. Because I'm a nice person, I believe that is a perfect square. In fact, I think we saw it earlier. So if I do 36, and then I hit this button underneath the square root button, sure enough, the square root of 36 is just the number 6. I think in many of these, I can't promise all because sometimes I make a mistake, but many of these, it will work out to a perfect square on the inside, just to kind of help you know that you're on the right track. All right, let's try this. We're going to put this negative 2 in everywhere we see an x. Remember, don't worry about the radical there. Just leave it. So it's 3 times negative 2 squared. So just the negative 2 is going to get squared. Plus a negative 2 minus 1. All right, so let's clean up this a little bit. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So this is really just 3 times 4. Plus a negative 2, that's really just minus 2. And of course we still have minus 1. So I have 12 minus 2 minus 1. So 12 minus 2 is 10. 10 minus 1 more is 9. And yes, the square root of 9 is just 3. Alright, now you go on to do practice set B and then the quiz for this little unit. And whether or not you want to challenge or whether you want to try to pick up some other points, you can do watch the extension video and try the extension quiz.